spending a ton of money on data, because there are as many different data solutions, uses for data, products for data, concerns about data, way data, like, there can be no such thing as education data. That means too many things to too many of us. And so it's, for me, kind of sometimes a little bit puzzling to figure out what do you mean, what do different folks mean when they say that? And so I suggest maybe 3 different ways of thinking about data. And as a school, as a district, as a state, 3 different tracks of work to consider as you make a plan for what to do about data in your school or district or state. Because what to do about data is, again, not really such a helpful question. It's just too big. And so can we split it up and perhaps along these 3 lines? So first, and again, it's along the 3 lines as a way to start towards a system of continuous improvement and towards a model where the decisions all kind of relate to each other and the tools, the process, and the people all kind of relate to each other. And so if at first you have a strategic plan, an instructional plan, you're able to look at the outcome data available to you and as an organization focus on priorities. And so say things like, we believe the highest leverage point is in middle school math, or we believe our biggest goal is college readiness beyond high school graduation. We believe we believe that if we can get students to proficiency by 9th grade, that is a high leverage point for us. And we've heard lots of these strategies before, employed in lots of different districts and states around the country. But it's not just then enough to make that strategic plan. It's then what are the products, processes, and people that need to be put in place and trained and measured in order to find out how you're going to, what you will do to achieve those goals and how you'll measure how close you're coming. And so that assumes a suite of products, not just one data system that you're putting in place to just get data. What data do you need? How are you calculating it? What's the change management plan in your organization so that the people and the processes are in place? Are you actually really just talking about kind of managing and instantiating data inquiry as a tool of the system? And then you're not just talking about all possible data and all possible people. You're also not making the assumption that teachers will wake up tomorrow and decide to do their jobs differently. That's not a fair assumption. You need to make that product, process, and people plan. And then as an end result, you look at that and say, okay, well, if we're going to be good at this, here's the technology plan we need to get there. Here's the kinds of data we need. Here's how often they need to be updated. Oh, wait, those systems aren't working. Okay, hold on, let's go fix that. Or here's the kind of investment it would take in the infrastructure and the broadband infrastructure to make sure that data can move to the right classrooms to support the processes we're talking about. And then it doesn't mean that in the first quarter, the second quarter, the first school year, all of the possible data you've ever captured is in one place, but you're making priority decisions based on your goals, and you have a way to measure whether that's working or not. And so for me, education data can be about too many things at once. It can be about reporting, it can be about applications, it can be about compliance, it can be about personalized tools like working based on data. But I think we need to strive to really talk about which level of the work are we talking about. Are we talking about using data to enhance achievement in this specific way, and then which products we're going to use to do that, and how will the data move so that we can continue to update those plans? There's one thing Anish said earlier when he was talking about the RFP process, which based on my experience in New York City, gave me a little bit of post-traumatic stress. Because I had a little attack there for a minute, because it's really not about one product, spelling out your requirements for one product, and then in a year, assuming that product is working and finished, and your strategic goal is then attained. It's really how can you have those programs extend throughout the course of your strategic plan, of your instructional plan, of your change management plan, and all of the different tools you could use, and all of the data coming from all of those tools. So how can districts and states really consider, again, interoperability, ownership of data, and all of the actions available to them based on data?